Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Dr.Barki's Ophthalmology Tutorials. Today we will continue with the discussion about the history taking. Okay, so in this video I will be discussing how to analyze the history, how to analyze the symptoms. In the previous videos I have discussed about what exactly to ask when the patient comes with specific symptom. In this video I will be discussing how to come to the list of possible differential diagnosis from your symptoms. That is the first thing. Then how to confirm the diagnosis by asking specific questions, or how to rule out the diagnosis by asking the negative questions or the negative history. Okay, so let's discuss this with the case scenarios. With the case 1, suppose a 70-year-old male patient complains of diminution of vision in both the eyes, okay, right eye more than the left eye since 2 years. So this is his chief complaint. So you know how to elaborate this diminution of vision. So the diminution of vision is there since 2 years. So in your HOPA, so this will be the chief complaint. So in your HOPA, so the diminution of vision since 2 years, which is insidious in onset and gradually progressive, not associated with pain, and diminution of vision is there both for distance and near. Okay, and there is no diurnal variation of diminution of vision. That is, there is no variation of diminution of vision in day or night. Go according to the anatomical structures and go on listing the possible diagnosis which will fit into all this. Okay, that is a 70-year-old patient. Consider the age, since how many years are the days. Then onset, how is the onset, progression, not associated with pain, and for distance and near. So can anything in the lids present with the similar symptoms? Yes, that is the ptosis, which can be aponeurotic type of ptosis, can fit into this. The next structure is the, in conjunctiva we have pterygium, which can fit into all these symptoms. In cornea we have corneal degenerations. Remember, it is degeneration, it is not dystrophy, because corneal dystrophies will be at the earlier age. Here the age of the patient is 70 years, so possibly you can include corneal degeneration. In the anterior chamber again, POAG, primary open angle glaucoma, can be a cause. Lens, cataract can be there. If you come to the retina, it can be ARMD, it can be even diabetic retinopathy or hypertensive retinopathy. Okay, so this is the possible list of diagnosis. Now you have to confirm whether the patient is having any of these, either by asking specific questions to these diagnoses or by asking negative questions, thereby ruling out these diagnoses. You have not yet gone to any examination part. Okay, so how you rule out ptosis now? So in ptosis, the obvious symptom, one more symptom, is the drooping of the eyelid. So ask this negative history. So your negative history will start from here. So when you are writing the negative history, you should know the aim or the purpose of asking this question. So ask drooping of eyelids if it is present. Then if it is present, goes in favor of ptosis. Otherwise, if it is absent, ptosis is ruled out. For pterygium, what questions we can ask? The obvious symptom with the pterygium will be the growth in the eye. Okay, they usually tell that patient is having a growth over the cornea or the black part of the eye. So if there is growth, it can be associated with redness sometimes, and it can be associated with foreign body sensation. So if all these symptoms are present, think of pterygium. Then is the corneal degeneration. Here patients may or may not have the symptom of photophobia. Because there is involvement of cornea, there can be a component of photophobia. Just ask that question. And even there can be whitish discoloration in the black part of the eye, that is over the cornea. So this can also go in favor of corneal degeneration. Coming to POAG, to rule out POAG, what negative questions you should ask? As I told in my previous videos, patient usually will have the field restriction. The symptoms which may give clue towards POAG are like frequent change of presbyopic glasses, or patient may be using some eye drops in so many days, or even there can be family history of similar complaints of using eye drops. Okay, In cataract, if you want to either rule out or confirm the cataract, what questions you will ask? Again, the patients may have the symptoms of polyopia, or patients may have colored halos, whitish discoloration in the center of the cornea. Okay, this is seen in case of mature cataracts, where patient will just tell that there is whitish discoloration, also called as leukocoria. Okay, if you want to rule out ARMD, ask questions of micropsia, acropsia or metamorphopsia. In diabetic retinopathy and diabetic retinopathy or the hypertensive retinopathy, patient will give history of diabetes mellitus or the hypertension. So your negative history will include all these questions first. So drooping of the eyelid, present or not, if there is a growth over the eyelid, photophobia, whitish discoloration of the cornea, POAG, symptoms like frequent changes of glasses, or usage of eye drops for more duration, or polyopia, colored halos, whitish discoloration in the center of the cornea, no history of micropsia, macropsia or metamorphopsia, diabetes and hypertension. So by asking all these negative history, you can either confirm or rule out the diagnosis. So let's say this patient is negative for your drooping of the eyelid or growth, photophobia or symptoms of frequent changes of glasses. So all this history is not there, and the patient is confirming that they are seeing so many images, that is polyopia, colored halos are present. Then your possible list of diagnosis at the end of your HOPI includes cataract. Okay. Suppose patient has the complaints of micropsia, macropsia and metamorphopsia. Along with this, then your ARMD is also included in your possible list of diagnosis. So this is how you should come to the list of differential diagnosis at the end of your HOPA. Further, when you go for examination, carefully look at these structures, examine and confirm the diagnosis. Coming to the second scenario, suppose a 40-year-old male who is farmer by occupation complains of pain in right eye since 4 days and diminution of vision in right eye since 4 days. So what all you can think of? A 40-year-old patient who is farmer by occupation. This is a significant history here. So when the patient is a farmer, obviously there are more chances of injury to the eye. So the first cause will be the trauma by the vegetative matter. Okay, because since he is farmer by occupation, so trauma leading to either corneal abrasion or even corneal ulcer. There can even be the chemical injury because of the pesticides which he may be using. Or patient may still be having the other causes like the acute anterior uveitis, or patient may be having acute angle closure glaucoma. Okay, or the patient may be suffering from endophthalmitis or panophthalmitis. So all these fit into the symptoms of pain and diminution of vision, that is trauma with the corneal abrasion or ulcer, chemical injuries, acute anterior uveitis, acute angle closure glaucoma, endophthalmitis or panophthalmitis. So how you confirm this now? So trauma, so ask for the obvious history of trauma or the history of fall of dust over the eye. Okay, or even there can be minor injury by the plants. The patients may think that it is not significant, but specifically ask for injury by the plants. Okay, then if you want to rule out the corneal abrasion and corneal ulcer, again ask for the history of photophobia. Any minor injury to the cornea will lead to tremendous photophobia. Patient will not be able to open his eyes. Okay, there can be reflex watering. If you want to rule out the chemical injury, again ask for the history of exposure to chemicals. If you want to rule out the uveitis, again the question of photophobia. If you want to rule out the acute angle closure glaucoma, ask for the negative history of colored halos again, photophobia, lacrimation, that is epiphora, headache, redness of eye, vomiting sensation or the vomiting. So this will be the history which will be going in favor of acute angle closure glaucoma. In case of endophthalmitis or panophthalmitis, follow surgery also. So ask for any history of ocular surgeries or the symptoms of the corneal ulcer, like again photophobia, discharge from the eye, redness of the eye. Suppose this patient gives positive history for photophobia, redness and watering along with the pain and diminution of vision, and there is no history of trauma, then you can rule out corneal abrasions or the corneal ulcer. And if there is no history of previous ocular surgeries, the endophthalmitis and panophthalmitis is ruled out. So our list of possible diagnosis will be either uveitis or acute congestive glaucoma, and still you can consider the corneal ulcer because patient might not have noticed the trauma to the eye. Okay. So coming to the third case scenario where the patient complains of watering in the left eye since 6 months. So what can be the list of possible diagnosis if the patient is having watering? Consider the age, again 50 years, female patient coming with the watering. The first differential diagnosis will be the dacrocystitis, okay, which can be either acute or chronic, both. Then there can be foreign body or dust in the eye, which can also lead to reflex watering, and the causes for other reflex watering like corneal ulcer or following trauma or even acute congestive glaucoma. So now ask specific negative history to rule out or keep the diagnosis in the list. The first one is the dacrocystitis. So if you want to rule out the acute dacrocystitis, ask for history of swelling over the lacrimal sac area, redness over the lacrimal sac area. Okay, so if these two are present, then you can think of acute dacrocystitis. Along with, there can be history of mucoid or mucopurulent discharge from the eye or from the lacrimal sac area. Whereas in case of chronic dacrocystitis, the only complaint will be watering. There is no associated symptoms of swelling over the lacrimal sac area or the redness or the mucoid discharge. So if there is foreign body or the dust, ask for this specific history. I have told how to rule out the corneal ulcer and the acute angle closure glaucoma. So if the patient is having only watering as a symptom without any other symptoms which fits into the corneal ulcer like photophobia or redness, okay, or there is no history of headache or vomiting, okay, which are features of ACG or acute angle closure glaucoma, or if there is no history of foreign body, then you are almost sure that the patient is suffering from chronic dacrocystitis. So this is how we should analyze the symptoms, write the HOPA and ask specific negative questions which are relevant, and then draw the possible list of differential diagnosis. So hope this video was useful to all of you. If you like my videos, please do subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon for further notifications. Please do like and share my videos. Thank you so much.